So the next 2 weeks, we're going to be gearing up to make something big. So you can see what we have behind me right here. That is going to be the project for next week. And this week, we are going to make the kind of smaller iterative first version of that. Okay. So this is a kind of complex process and we are going to spend 2 weeks on it. But know that if you get behind on this first week, it's going to be hard to catch up and make the larger object the next week. So the first thing that we're going to do is 3D model an object, and the object that you choose is up to you. I'm kind of envisioning this as becoming like a side table and putting some acrylic on top of it. You could do all sorts of things for this project, but that's really the first step, is kind of ideating, maybe doing some sketches and figuring out what you want this thing that will ultimately be a minimum of 24 inches on one axis, what you want that to be. And once you have that figured out, you're going to try to 3D model that. You can do it in Fusion 360, you can do it in Tinkercad, up to you, you can do it in Blender. And then from there, we're going to go through another pipeline of softwares that create this workflow to ultimately make a laser cut cardboard interlocking sliced object. So let's get started. All right, so I'm actually going to be using Tinkercad to get this model done really quickly. It doesn't really need to be that complex, though it's up to you. Like I said, I think I'm going to be doing a side table, so I go through some basic shapes. So I found this rounded cube, and I'm going to bring that onto my work plane. And know that, so this is, each grid is 1 millimeter, so know that you can scale this once we get into the next software, which is Slicer. So you really want to focus more on getting the form to be the way you want it. But you can go ahead, and especially like if you're using Fusion 360 or Blender, I would definitely suggest you going ahead and getting it to the right scale if that's what you want to do. But for this project, I'm just going to get the shape the way I want it. And I want one of the surfaces to be really flat. So I am just going to subtract from the top. Yeah, and this is kind of what I want. Because I think I'm gonna like put a piece of like glass or maybe acrylic, like cool acrylic on top of it. So I just want it to be really flat for that. Yeah, and this is basic and this is totally fine. Okay, then you're gonna add your name and we're gonna export as an STL. Okay, let's go to the next step.